we are going to the race game. Now, this one is again one of my favoriteest games because it's the easiest game what you can play. And when I remember of Chaukabara, I have to tell you about an incident. I grew up in a family where I did not have grandparents, and even if I had, they were staying somewhere far away. So whenever I used to read stories about grandparents and grandchildren having fun and being together, it used to, somehow have a nice feeling in me. I wanted to do that. So when my children were born, I wanted my children and my, in-laws or my parents to have that bond, what I had been reading in the books or stories. So this Chaukabara helped me to do it. Let me tell you an incident, how it happened. My father-in-law basically is, he is a person who keeps to himself and he loves to read a lot. He's not a person who mingles with children the most. Maximum is he can talk about cricket, nothing else. So it so happened one summer holidays when they were here with us. I thought we should start off, I just requested him and my mother-in-law and my children to start playing this game, the Chaukabara. You can't believe it just melted away all the bridges and things what had been between them, and I could see them giggle and laugh and have loads and loads of fun. Even to the fact my son learned how to lose from playing Chaukabara. He said he learned the sportive spirit behind losing and then winning back again. Now let's go to the rules of the game, not going too much into detail. So the board, the money or the board looks like this of Chaukabara. This is a 5x5 Chaukabara. So it says it's called as 5-house Chaukabara. You even have a 7-house Chaukabara and 11-house Chaukabara. Now there are 4 players having different coins. 4 players with 4 sets of coins. Okay, and there is something called as this. This is our cowrie shells. Okay, 4 cowrie shells are there. Let me go ahead with the rules. Suppose now regarding the cowrie shells. Now suppose one face is up and all the other 3 faces are down like this. Then it is considered as one move. Suppose I have 2 faces up like this, then it's considered as 2 places to move. If it is 3, then it is 3 places to move. If all the 4 cowrie shells are up like this, it is called as chauka or 4. Okay, you move 4 places and then you tend to even get one more extra chance. Suppose there is no face up at all the cowrie shells are like this, reverse. It is called as bara or 8, and you need to move up 8 places and you get an additional chance. I'll show you on the board too. So here, if you get 1, you move 1 place. Suppose this player is here. 2 places 2, 3 places 3, 4 places 8 places. Okay. Now you need to move around in the anti-clockwise direction to go ahead with the game, and enter from this to go into the inner square to come here to come to your house, and this is your house. This is your place target where you need to come and reach. This is how you win your pawn. Okay. Now, when you go ahead, you need to understand you have to remove one of your opponent pawns. That is an entry. That is your card for entry or a key for entry for the inside of the square. Okay. Now it so happens that when all the players are moving in and out, again there are a lot of chances when you have to cut the opponent's path and move ahead. When you cut the opponent's path and send him to his original house here, say this is the original house of player A, then you get an extra chance. So you get an extra chance if you cut an opponent's place, and you get the key to enter into the inner square of the Chaukabara board. So it's a very easy game to play. Definitely, it will, enable lot of things. Other than enabling lot of things, the important thing is how to strategize and plan, and how to learn to lose are the benefits. Let's look into the benefits again. So it is basically a game of planning, thinking, and strategy. So it's a wonderful, simple game. It doesn't require too many things to play. All you need is cowrie shells. Okay, let's go ahead for the last game of the entire slides thing, morality game. This is one of the, it has very interesting combination of stories related to morality game. Morality game is also called as the Paramapada, or the Gyan Chopper. In simple languages, snakes and ladders. Did you know snakes and ladders went from India to all parts of the world? It was in the early centuries, Jains, in the Jain texts, it has been told that they had devised such a game like snake and ladder or Paramapada, and it was there in their text. Now, Santa Gnaneshwar, he used this to inculcate the Indian tradition into the children, and made it named it as Paramapada. The idea behind him, Sant Gnaneshwar, doing this is to understand that good deeds takes you up in life like the ladder, and bad or unwanted deeds pull you down like the snake. Okay. Of course, everyone would really know about snake and ladder. There is nothing much we need to tell about it. But definitely, I have an interesting board here. See, you would have seen a square snake and ladder. But this one, this particular board or hase, has a circular, circular board. Okay. The rules of the game, what do you need? You need this board. You can have up to 4 players. You just need a dice. So how do you play? There are couple of ways of playing it. We just start it from one just like that and we go ahead. There are also things that they say that you have to get a 6 or 1 or 5 to enter into the game. Until you get 6 or 1 and 5, you don't start from the 1. So that is another logic. Another interesting trivia when I did research on this Paramapada was during the day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi, people play this game to while away their time during the night. Such an interesting trivia, right? Yeah. So there are different names related to it for all the games for that matter. It would be called as differently in your mother tongue, but I'm just using what is generally called. Okay, it's called as Havureni in Kannada and Vaikuntha Patha in other name for it. Okay. Now what you do is you roll the dice as I told you, 1, 5, or 6 you get, and you get the entry to the first point. You move slowly up. Whenever there is a ladder, you climb, but whenever there's a snake, you slide down to go back to the path. So there are chances that you go all the way until 96 here and come back to 6. So that's what I said when Sant Gnaneshwar designed this. He said, no matter how much good deeds you would have done in life, even if you do a bad deed in the end, you end up where you had started. I've been telling you about morality games and the benefits I was talking about. As I rightly told you, it teaches us the sportive spirit, and a subtle spiritual knowledge, which has been, as I told you, that what are the right deeds according to our tradition, Indian tradition, and what are the deeds or the wrong deeds, which is not so acceptable in the society. Going forward, after listening to all these things, I need to conclude with this session. I just thought, these 4 games will inculcate your interest in the board games. for you to further, go ahead and look forward for the other 21 games, what is being given in the list. Please join our WhatsApp group to understand more about what we do and learn about these sessions. And please post your questions in the comment section so that we are able to address what are your doubts. Okay, I'll be coming to the last concluding session. So when I say conclusion, I don't mean this is the end of the board game. It's the beginning of the board game for you to take ahead and go ahead and inculcate a lot of things in your family life. And it's the right time, right? Lockdown is a golden time where we can enter, where we can rebond the family bonds again. Now, the practical benefits of this is, it's as I told you from my experience, it bonds generations. You won't believe, each time we go to our native, my in-laws, out of their schedule, they make it a point that we at least play about 5 to 6 games in a day. They are ready to forgive their patron or their set of routine and things like that, and come back and play the game. It was a wonderful thing when I see the kids and the way now the interaction is improved when they tend to talk to each other and share their ideas and views. So that for all those things, I have to give credit to Chaukabara, which helped me bond this. Not only Chaukabara, definitely all the other board games were designed to do it. And these board games are not so hi-fi and it's not expensive. I'm not against gadgets as such, but I'm just telling you the point in a positive way. Say an Xbox, as far as my knowledge goes, costs about 25,000, but a board game doesn't cost much. You just need to write the board on anything for that matter, and then you can just start playing with what things you have at home. No need for coins. We used to play with broken bangles. So that's a nice way of reuse, reduce, and recycle. And we used to even play with the seeds, tamarind seeds, or any seeds for that matter, even peanut seeds and things like that. The other major advantage of it, there has been a study which shows that board games are the ones which are helping, our generation or Indian generation to reduce Alzheimer's and dementia. The the two great things which are related to the brain, which is related to our brain, and which is very prominent in these generations. It is, it helps us to deal with it. The psychological benefits, as I rightly told you, it tells you, it teaches you, like all sports, to be a sportive spirit and how to lose and be, how to lose and win, gracefully, and also that it helps us to learn to strategize and plan and see to it that we reach where we have to reach. Okay. So when I say all these things, I have mentioned, I have to give credits to particular organization which completely changed the way I looked into board games. For me, board games initially, like I don't know about other people, for me, it was just chess and nothing else. And, I had never thought there would be so many board games. So I have to thank Mr. R.G. Singh and H.N. Dharmendra of Ramson's Kala Pratishtana. Also, they have a blog or the biannual thing called as Krida Kaushalya. These two people, and Mr. Dilip Kumar too, these three people passionately dug out for almost 20 odd years and gave us the 21 games which we have as, as a tool, as freely they have given us. They put in so much efforts. They have gone to places all over India, visited temples, visited even Ghats of Kashi, gone to the tip of India to Tamil Nadu, temples of Tamil Nadu, temples of Belur and Halebeedu, and all over India for that, to name a few, okay, and figured out there were umpteen number of games and how it is played, because most of our games were not chronicled. It was not written down. It was going from word of mouth. They went around looking for it and saved all those 21 games for us. So our duty is to play these games and give them gratitude. I have lots of, even for that matter, just yesterday when I spoke to Mr. Singh, he said, please go ahead and, I just need one small thing, that people have to play the games and understand the value of the board games in our life. So nice, right? So before even mentioning any other people, two more special credits are to need to be given. Some of the photographs were eagerly taken from my son. He has helped me take few photographs. I'm grateful for him to that. And not to mention, not to lose out, the entire Swarna Prashana group, which has been behind, encouraging people who want to do things differently and trying to pull out resources, so that we get to, we get to come out with our ideas, and, so that our games or traditions is being shown to the world.
Thank you, Rupa. I think that was an amazing session. As you said, rightly pointed out, this is not end of the session. This is a new. This is the beginning of a new session in their life. So I think everybody will be more now intrigued to go back and explore these games and play with all the people. People who wanted to know what games do you suggest for toddlers?
See, toddlers can definitely start off with this one. That is what I started off with my son, the Channe Mane, because it doesn't require too much of, what to say, calculation, or too much of intense calculations involved, but it is a very nice way to engage the kid and indirectly teach him how to do a basic arithmetic things. Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So the next one is, overall people have been asking this, when would Greenlands bring this game into so that people can access it? It requires a lot of effort. I think that's been there for a long time. There are some places, maybe Rupa can share it. Yeah,
a very nice question. You need not buy the fabric or the board game, nothing. See, this is what my daughter did. After I said we will do I'll be doing the ancient board game session, she just took a piece of white paper and she drew this grid. You can see the measurements also on the grid. So she just drew it with this. And the whole idea is to play the game, not to, take anything, especially during the lockdown period. This is really helpful. And for the this one, see, I've taken chana seeds for the tiger, and I can take peanuts for the adu or the goat. So it's very easy to do it. And one more board, after much coaxing and all of that, she made a Chaukabara board too. I had asked her to paint, but she has just used the sketch pen. You people can think about different things like this. You can paint, you can even use your skills of embroidery, simple embroidery, and do these boards at home. It can be drawn on the floor, on the back of your, and lot of back of your, table, somewhere, no, sorry, on top of your table. But then the whole idea is to play.
Can you share experience when you introduce these board games in your house? So how did children take it, and can you share the experience of the transformation when you introduce the ancient games?
See, as I told you, I started experimenting with chess. Definitely, it was a nice way to engage my kid. But I later realized a Chaukabara or a Chanamane would be a better thing to do. So see, as I've just told you, with Chaukabara, I have seen my son change a lot. Like for example, he was the one who never used to like to lose, and he used to just scatter the board after it's done and just go away and things like that. So it has now he has gracefully started agreeing or agreeing to the fact that he can lose the game too. And as I rightly told you, the bond between my in-laws and the parents with me and with my children, it's taken a 360-degree turn. I in the end of the day, there is no judgments, and we understand we are all human after all.
You asked Rupa about like what is the time duration of a typical game when you plan. So this might helpful. Rupa, can you answer those questions?
So a game, how much time a game requires to play entirely depends on how much time, how well the strategy is applied, while playing the game, or how well you learn to move around and plan and go ahead in the game. It depends entirely on that. It can get over with the poor strategies, can get over faster too. But of course, the game of Snake and Ladder or Paramapada is completely a chance game. Even Chaukabara also is a chance game. You might get a 4 or you might not get it. I have few games in my mind when I talk about. I will not be able to entirely list out the 21 games. The few games what I have been, what I have just count in the list of the games, different sets of games I have been doing is the hunt game, Adu Huliata, or even say Hasuchirite. And then there's something called as Pachisi, something called as Vimanam. And also there is a game which is being played like using the Jita leaves. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recollect that name of the game. Other than that, there's Nakshatrata, there is Palanguni or Chennamani, and then you have just like that. I told you about Chaukabara, and uh, I could remember all these right now. We will definitely let you know the rest of the games in our PDF format. See, basically, we play the board games generally during the afternoon when the sun is out and we cannot go out and play so much. That is my way of looking at it, because I come from the coastal belt. It is pretty hot in the afternoon there during the summer. So we tend to play a couple of games. You just need to play 1 or 2 games also. That is also enough. It's basically to understand the way strategy, you learn to strategize and you learn to take the things sportively. That is more important. Physical games, yes, I would really recommend at least 1.5 hours to 2 hours of physical game. I hope this, this webinars satisfies little bit of your curiosity and it inculcates an interest, and so that you Google and find out more. We'll be sharing, join our WhatsApp to know more about the games. And definitely you can go through after joining the WhatsApp group, you can see our PDF also. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.